All right, friends. So I'm feeling good about this one. My caster senses are tingling. I just feel like this will be good. We've got 1100 elo. So this is not low elo legends. But, you know, players that are solid enough, but obviously very far from pro. We've got Matapolito playing as the Vikings here. A very good water civilization on islands. You see the blue, you see the water. You're excited. And then we have Bert the Kid over here in the blue playing as the Malians. Now, I'm very curious, what is this rank going to do on islands? Are we going to see a dock and fishing ships in Dark Age? I feel like we probably should see that. I feel like they should know about that, but I'm not 100% on if that would be the case. And then, will we see transporting? Will we see any sneaking involved? Because I feel like, you know, sneaking some buildings up on the enemy island could be quite solid here. This is kind of funny. We've got the rhino and the elephant just hanging out, getting to know each other before they die. That's really, well, sad, actually. It's really sad. Okay, anyways, let's talk bonuses. So, Malians I like a lot for the landing approach because eventually their navy just feels like it's bested by a lot of other civs. I think Malians, you know, they might get fast fire ship, but in terms of ranged navy, which can dominate on islands, they lack bracer. And so their navy's just not really the best due to bracer being an issue in the long term. But where Malians are good is all their wood buildings are discounted. So the house is already discounted, the lumber camp, the dock, all of these buildings that Blue's going to make is just cheaper. So it's very easy to have the wood to make the fishing ships, make the transport ship, and make some additional navy. But, you know, with the thought process being maybe your navy's not the best in the long run, I would like to see Blue try and use that flexibility and try and get over to the enemy island. Like, if you can combine a couple buildings over here with navy, I think Red could have some problems. And so I think, you know, to expand on that, Vikings are one of the best water civilizations if it is an out-and-out water war. They've got cheaper docks. It's really easy for them to match galleys, but they don't get fires. So galleys, you have to group up, and you have to micro them. And if you do that, you can just dominate. But it's kind of hard to do that if someone has units in your base. So there's a dock on the front here from Blue, who temporarily forgot a house. So he's just going to snack a loom. What's going on with this script? Why are the rhinos and the elephants next to each other? Does that happen every time? What are the chances? Oh, elephant's dead. Rhino doesn't have a friend. Called it. So if you were going galleys, that, you know, I would suggest to my viewers that maybe you might want to dock more towards the side. Like, I guess with where Red spawned, docking over here might be good. Just because you want a bit more time to mass the galleys. If you're going fires, which are better in lower numbers, obviously docking on the front is really solid. But both players seem capable. Both players have added the dock, and they're adding the fishing ships now, so they know their builds. Here comes the elephant on Blue's side of things. There's quite a bit on wood for Blue. If this was a higher ranked player with this much on wood, I would say this is going to be a transport. Because the transport's more expensive than the fishing ship. So I could see that being an option for him. Red bringing in the rhino now. I think Red's been faster to bringing in the food underneath the TC here. I think Blue had taken a few extra. Oh, villager went down. We didn't see that, Red. We did not see that. This is definitely not going to be on YouTube later. But anyways, I think despite that, you know, you're still ahead in resources collected for the time being, just because a bit more on wood, food. And Blue had a lot more on wood. At lower levels, our build order is usually send everything to wood and produce fishing ships like crazy. Yeah. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I looked. We started at 1,000 elo and went up. And I got all the way to 1,100. I went past 3 pages of games before I found an islands game. There's just not a lot of islands happening at this rank. So, it doesn't seem like either build's super optimized for a fast feudal. But overall, the consistency's there. I mean, neither player has struggled with the idle TC time. Red, obviously, though, lost the villager to a boar and had 30 seconds vital TC time. And actually, there goes Red. All right, so now, if this is a pro game, we have like 5 more villagers go to this lumber camp. We have most of the villagers go to another lumber camp, and then we have 3 go to gold. What does Red do here? Yeah, I think it's going to be similar to that. He's going to go lumber camp, and then he probably will send vills to gold. So he wants galleys. Blue, also on the way to feudal. Sending more to wood, sending more to gold. Okay, so this is going to be for ships. So it's going to be a naval battle. Blue actually scouting with a fishing ship. Bert. Look at Bert. All right, scouting with the fishing ship. Kind of an interesting move here, but this is a old-time strategy. People don't do it as much these days. But when you've made as many fishing ships as you have, I think it's worth it. It's not like this is the most efficient eco anyways. Yeah, you need a second dock here, Blue. And Red also does as well. Both players going to be late with that. Which is a big deal for the galley player. And we have a transport for Blue. Ooh, baby. Let's go. So, again, like the timing of it, you've had the wood for a while to make the dock if you're Red. You've had the wood for a while to make the transport if you're Blue. I would also suggest... What? Red is scouting with the fishing ship too? Is this 1100 rank meta? What the... I love it, guys. I love it, but it's just weird they're both doing it. That's pretty sick. Anyways, where's the scout? Scout needs to come with. Don't send this villager out into the darkness. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say villager? No. This is like... This is a whole family here. Mom, dad, the daughter, the 2 sons. They're hopping in. And I guess they know where to go now. But do not go near that dock. You got to go in an area you've scouted. All right, now Red, clearly aware that there could be a landing, and we have some more tricks here. He's making houses along the shoreline for vision, just in case there's ever a sneak. Also, seems like his scout's been on patrol there. Just passing. Okay. Blacksmith for Bert. Bert making those fires. Bert knows where the dock is now, so he might send his fire over there. Red does not know where Blue's dock is. Will Red notice this? It's been awfully quiet out there, folks. It's been awfully quiet. There's an outpost there. I mean, I just don't know. Okay, I think Red knows. Okay, this is Red reacting to it. Red now is aware. And Blue knows that Red knows. And if Red didn't know, there would have been an attack signal there. So, you know, suddenly, you have to respect this. And you have to think about making military buildings of your own if you're Red. And this is where I find using galleys really awkward. This is where I find having galleys is very awkward. Because you can't focus on this in the same way. Yo, Alphen, thanks for the stars, man. Happy to cast your game. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry the game wasn't close. You know, it wasn't really my most exciting cast because, you know, you were just stomping the poor guy. But I'm sure that's better than being the one that is getting stomped. So, fishing ship's kind of hiding here for Blue. Red doesn't see them. Red's fishing ships are also kind of hidden away. And it's man-at-arms. And another barracks for Bert the Kid. It's going to be double barrack man-at-arms here? We'll see if he has the food for that. Fishing ships are fleeing. Red is very confused. He doesn't know Blue even has Navy right now. But, I mean, fletching is in. So, you know, the galleys are at their strongest, at least for feudal age right now. And fishing ships have been spotted. And advantage Red thus far. Red's done a really good job. And Red's going archers. I'm not sure I love the double barrack play. It takes so long to pay off. Blue won't lose all the fishing ships, though. Red's probably distracted by the threat of land. He didn't know about the Navy. And look how easy it is to lose your ships when you're going galleys against fires. As suddenly you need demos, and you need to micro. Blue just now, though, making some type of threat here. I like the micro from Blue. He pulls back the weak ones to go repair, maybe. Wasn't expecting that here. But yeah, Red's got the right approach. you have a lot on wood and a lot on gold anyways, so just make archers. That's what I would suggest for blue, because now if this doesn't work if you're blue, you've spent all your food on man-at-arms, which kind of countered by archers. And then you're never going to go castle age. But what you do have is you have villagers here. And like having villagers on the enemy side, it's going to be really valuable in the long run. I like how red is played though. Oh god, I take it back, take it back, take it back, take it back, take it back. Ah, what have I done? I'm so sorry. Dude, I am so sorry. I complimented him. And in that moment, he just made the worst mistake he could have. But that kind of proves my point, right? It's so dependent on micro to go galleys. If that's fires, it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, we're okay here. But Vikings don't get fires. I think in some level, that's because he was looking at home and trying to balance everything else out too. So here he comes. He wants to put an end to this. And these are Malian man-at-arms that actually have forging and armor. So they are high pierce armor. And now red has the micro here as well. Like, red has the micro a lot. Which should be a moment for blue to just patrol forward with those fires. And then he's got full control of the water. Right, there's an archer range for blue. Blue's like, this could be a problem for me. Let's get some skirms in the mix. And wow. Yeah, Curse of the Caster. But I think red will still be okay. Because Archer Mass still should push this back in time. And he still could head to Castle Age. There's a lot of potential here for red, I believe. Now, this is blue using the bonuses of the Malians the whole way through, though. Malian infantry has extra pierce armor. Also, this guy's killing a poor zebra. But this is working because of the extra pierce armor that the Malians get. It is spending a lot of food and a lot of gold on this, though, as red calmly thinking about the Castle Age will kill the man-at-arms, and now he's going to be up above 10 archers. So, guys, that was the moment. Just for those of you trying to, learn islands, right? That moment there, as red's doing all that work, is where the fires need to be active. Not being active with the fires there really hurts. He just masked a bunch of demos, but... And we're going to see a tower, though, from blue. I mean, blue... Sure, even if his Castle Age is late, he still has villagers here. And there's no easy way for red to ever counterattack. Fire galleys find an archer there. And, there will be a couple archers, a couple more man-at-arms, just more work for red. Red is on the way to Castle Age, though. Interesting game. I think both players have had interesting strats here. And I think this is the type of game you want. You want, like, landing and fires against galleys and archers. This is always really fun when games play out like this, because these are two different ways to play islands effectively. Now, of course, there's always other small things, like throughout all of this, you could also be adding more fishing ships in the back if you're either player, but that's really difficult, right? I wonder if red, I mean, he could get some big booms here. He's really focused on this at the moment. I wonder if red is going to go for any longboats in this game. There go the booms. Big old booms. He needs more booms to kill those, though. Looks like he killed one villager here. And blue, just determined to keep this area locked down, is going to make another tower, which I don't mind at all. Okay, notice, guys, he's made 3 archer ranges. Anyone want to make the joke? He made it on the right island, T90. There you go. I made the joke for you. And how I'm sure you all sound when you make the joke. So, blue. Actually, no, he didn't make the 3rd one yet. Joke ruined. But he's in a pretty good spot on land. He also, I like how much he's farmed here. Same thing for red, though. Red farmed a lot. And they both have tons of resources to work with. But red realizes that this could continue to be an issue. So he's first prioritizing this with the Siege Workshop. I think had blue made more fires, had blue continued to put focus on water, blue would have taken out all of red's docks. But red able to make longboats now. And a mass of longboats is really hard to stop on water. T90, I'm suing you for sampling my voice without permission. Sorry. You, by arriving to watch my content, agreed that I can sample your voice without permission. It's just the law. Blue thinks, I've got control over this game now. Let's try and get my eco right. And he drops that second TC at home. Red having to focus on water, or not having, but he's choosing to focus on water as well as land. Maybe he didn't micro perfectly there, but he did have upgrades in before blue. And he's got the crossbowman getting great value. He's got the siege coming as well, and he's got longboats looping around. Big question in my mind is, will blue be able to hold on to this position? And then the follow-up, of course, to that is, will blue also start to lose things on water because of all this? Right now, it seems like he's going to put up a real stubborn fight here. He will have longswords. And again, extra infantry on the infantry. Or extra infantry on the infantry? What did I say? Extra pierced armor on the infantry. Means that he should be able to get in quite close to these crossbows. Compared to another Civ's longswords. And red is just really struggling with the multitasking, man. Okay. This longbow's waiting for an opportunity to kill these villagers. Two of them are weak. Alright, longboat mass isn't really there. Second town center's coming up. Blue not exactly producing out of this TC too much. You can tell it's hard to get the multitasking right, but that's why we like this rank. A bit more relatable here. Right? The strategy's there. The execution, it wavers. But honestly, I think the most impressive thing is that they both have less than 2 minutes of idle TC time. That's crazy, man. That is just crazy multitasking. What is this going to be for guard tower? I could see guard tower making sense for blue if he thinks he's going to lose this position. This could be bad. Oh, this is painful. Oh, so as painful as it was for red earlier, it's just as painful for blue. He was probably looking at something else. Beautiful micro from red to recover. He might actually end up losing the fight, though. Crazy. That's a lot of longswords. Blue has really not given up on that. Red's probably like, dude, give it a rest. Give it a freaking rest. I thought you were finished. This is like the 6th time. That's why you got to stop that landing from happening in the first place, right? And if red clears up land here, if he kills all this and then takes out all the buildings, he then has a bunch of units on his island that he cannot easily get over to his opponent's island. Still do think that red with the Imperial Age could make a lot happen here. But blue's going to drop a castle here, which is a little risky right now. He doesn't have any siege. But, you know, if he gets the castle up, could make things exciting. Red obviously going to add siege, obviously going to send more archers and bring them back over here. And red selling food to get gold. That's Viking eco for you. And red could click up to the Imperial Age any moment now. Has pretty much given up on water. He's got a little bit. Blue's kind of given up on it too. And this game is not over if blue gets his castle up. If anything, could be an advantage for red because red can always treb it down in the Imperial Age. Red is missing a second building, though. He has the Siege Workshop, but he would need another building to be able to compete. Or not compete, sorry. To be able to click up. Which is giving blue some time. Even Arson from blue. Dude, guys, we have seen... What's with the infantry today? It seems like the mid-elo really making use of all these new infantry techs. At high rank, we never see it, but... Seen like 3 games in a row where we've seen longswordsmen and castle age, which is pretty hype. Now, I think red knows his massive resource bank. I think that, and yeah, he is stressed. I think we're going to see him scramble down a building here in a second. What makes me think that he knows about his resource bank, like, look, he's probably trying, he's clicked imp before, and he thinks, crap, I don't have the gold, and then he sells, and then he tries to click it again, and now we'll see the building, right? Yeah, there it is. But the castle would count as well. You can just go 1 castle as well. Blue has generations on stone. Like, he's completed the stone that was on the front. He's almost completed his starting stone. He's now on his backup stone, and he's got 15 on stone. This guy's going to have a lot of castles and towers in this game. But what he doesn't have is as much food. And red has clicked up to imp. Red, despite everything, still in an okay spot. And red is going to make his own infantry. Viking infantry, more HP. A very strong infantry as well. And so he wants to combine that in front of his crossbowmen. Makes me a little sad. I'd prefer to see berserks, but it's easier to produce out of 3 barracks than it is to produce out of 1 castle. So for that reason, I get it. Red just temporarily clicking his navy forward. This might wake blue up on water a little bit. And blue does not know about that castle. So he's just thinking, I'm going to push. I'm going to kill this guy. I'm on his island. He's not beating me on water. Let's go kill him. And I think Imperial Age from his opponent is going to surprise him massively. The red should be able to get pretty decent upgrades. I hope he doesn't forget about ranged unit upgrades for those crossbows, though. I think Bracer's a pretty big one here. And here, blue starting to lose some fishing ships. And that's going to remind him that fire ships are nice. And this is pretty good for blue, actually. Okay, here goes blue. He's got 2k stone in the bank, and he sees the castle. And then if you see imp from your opponent afterwards, you're like, oh no. But again, in theory, he has time to balance out his eco. Look at the stone count, though. Oh my god. If you combine their stone counts, there's 3,300 stone. It's ridiculous. I want to check the res collected here in this game. Blue has had more. Obviously, he's had more stone. It's been really close, though. Well fought to these two. This has been a great game. Okay, Malian's definitely worse on water in the long run. Blue now uses the market to try and click up to imp as well after seeing reds and imp. The first decision here, red. The first decision has to be Trebs. Oh, but he doesn't actually know blue is a castle. Wow. Interesting. He doesn't know about it, guys. First thing he clicks is actually two-handed swordsman, thinking this will be a champion war. But, you know, blue's archers will be helpful there. Blue's Gabetto. Gabetto's pretty good against forms of infantry. Really good against forms of infantry, so... You know, blue's not really losing any army right now. He's not going to lose the castle either. This is where having some outposts here for some vision would be really nice. Red's primary focus now is just to clean up this massive army. And he should still have the tools to do it. Especially if blue runs directly into the TC fire. What's happening here? Well, death is happening here. Big moment for red. He's like, get out of here. Also, there's a random longboat here. Shout out to that. Forced a tower. Good stuff. Dang. And he wants to make a trap, but he's actually population capped because he's just been under so much pressure. It's been a nervy game. And now he'll place some houses. Add the two-handed swordsman. Now goes Bracer. Now goes Arbalest. Treb is on the way. At high ranks, we would have bombard cannon and hand cannon be the next move for blue on land, I think. And of course, we'd also have more ships coming out. I think if you could simultaneously control the seas while fighting here, that would be ideal for blue. But still could swing either way. These two have no clue we're watching right now. They're just duking it out, hoping to get plus 14 elo or 16 elo or whatever they would get being at the same elo. And red still can't see that castle. Oh boy. Look at the army. Army's just kind of standing there out in the open. Don't you want to kill that? Well, blue's crossbowmen are sacrificed here. He's going for Arbalest himself. Remember, he doesn't get Bracer. So the Arbs are way better for the Vikings. That's before you talk about the Viking unique tech, which is rather expensive, but it does make their Arbalest get that +1 attack. Which would just... And Malians would have no chance with Arbs then. Castle Fire for blue, is that going to reveal something here? Yeah, he knows about that now. And the two-handed swordsmen are going to dive for the Treb. It's costly. Might be worth it if he takes out the Treb, though. Oh, baby. He takes out that trap. That's worth it. Blue's falling apart. Yeah. With chemistry in, you could maybe make bombard cannons now to try and hit this stuff from distance and keep this castle up. I'm not sure the army composition is necessarily going to be there for blue. Will he sense that? And will he start to mass tons of ships? Because you can give up this and just win water, and then red has, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 units on land that he can never use again. But if you continue to invest everything into this and are then reactive on water, that's where the problem comes in. Chemistry is now on the way. Gotta love the Malian University techs. They come in so quickly. And blue definitely thinking maybe some skirms here as well. All the units that blue's thinking about, red has better versions. I think this is where the game gets won or lost, all based on if the water is something that blue and red prioritize. Because the bracer upgrade, the chemistry upgrade, all this stuff red's getting for archers right now also applies to those longboats. And mass longboats can be insane. The Treb will go down. Blue, there's never a better time to go water, and he's thinking about it. He clicked fast fire, he's getting careening, he's making cannon galleons. But red's thinking about it. And red is starting to make longboats too. So really cool stuff here. Cannon galleons actually out for blue. I'd like to see a few more docks, if at all possible. But yeah, fast fire ship can be great. Red would need to mass quite a few longboats. This could always swing back. I think red's probably feeling great about himself because he's clearing this up. And he might still be looking at this more than anything. Gill nets? Okay. More docks coming up too. Good stuff. Cannon galleons alone might not end up doing it for you, blue. I think you're going to need more docks. There's Bogsvigar. That adds the +1 attack to these archers. Wasn't it proposed at one point it also adds extra attack to longboats? Didn't I hear that? Is it? I'm now second-guessing myself. I'm going to look at the longboat just to make sure. I thought for sure I heard something about that. Oh, it does! Oh, it does. Okay, cool. So that's actually implemented. So it's 7+5 attack on the longboats now. And that's before these are elite. And they could be elite if upgraded through the docks. A lot of fast fires from blue. It's been a good game. Love to see a castle next to the shoreline if fast fires come in. But neither player really knows how much the opponent has on water right now. Red might be tempted to transport. And it could be a really bad time if blue shows up with all of this. Oh, man, this is such a sick game. There's a lot of fast fires in the queue for blue. He's actually pop-capped. Blue, maybe make a castle? Mr. 3,000 stone? Maybe make a castle? Buildings haven't been trebbed fully here, by the way. Still only 15 longboats for blue. For red. Red should be dominated by the navy that blue has right now. Unless he gets a warning and then makes that castle on the shoreline. Because you want the fires to run directly into that castle fire. There's a transport ship still out there somewhere for blue. Oh, it's over here. Interesting. He's going to find some fishing kills. Okay. Less important now because there's plenty of farms, but worth noting. Also, there's a fire ship over there if you're wondering what that was. Again, red's army count looks great. Elite longboat, also a huge upgrade. But he's got 17 arbs, 16 champions, and the trebs, and they don't help that much in the water fight. I guess the arbalests do actually help a decent amount, but elite longboat on the way will complete a crazy islands game. This is a complete islands game. I love this. I'm concerned for blue, though, because he's over booming. He's got resources to go to 200 pop with army or navy. And he has 143 villagers and counting. That's a bit of an overboom. We have heavy demo being researched as well for red as he tries to go in for a demo here. Heavy demo is needed. It's actually a great tech to get. These guys they're not pros, obviously, but they know what they're doing on water. And if it's heavy demo and elite longboat, I always prefer that over an army comprised of just fast fires. Like, I think blue's going to run in here and get completely wrecked, guys. Look at this. It's textbook. It's textbook. Pull back with the ranged units. Go in with the fires. Boom! Or the demos. Boom! Oh, that was huge. And yet you just keep that up. Yep, keep it up. Good luck, fires. Bam! And then the main thing, obviously, is keep those longboats firing behind this. And blue is going to lose a lot of ships. It felt like blue had the time. Right? There was definitely a window there, if I'm not mistaken, for him to move in and try and surround these longboats. But he, in trying to get the mass himself, ended up giving the Vikings a little bit too much time. And Malians, the better civ when it comes to taking it to land. But, you know, they weren't able to finish the game. Blue wasn't able to finish the game with land. And now Red's ready. He feels confident. He's making transports to bring villagers or the army across. There's stone and there's gold remaining on these islands. Because otherwise, there's actually no more for Red, who really needs to snag these relics. I think Blue should do the same at his base. Blue isn't killed off yet. I'm expecting Red to take really good engagements, but Red doesn't have any gold. So, you know, could be problematic if Red loses the longboat army. Blue now has queued up 50 war galleys. Holy crap. But he doesn't get Bracer. And he does get... I think Malians do get Galleon, but... Malian, Galleon, it rhymes at least. It hasn't shown me the Galleon upgrade yet. I mean, that could easily be in queue behind all these ships. I thought they got Galleon. Elite Cannon Galleon is in here for Red, as he's hopping into these transports now. Good micro from Red. Yeah, it's 8 plus 5 and 160 HP. There's 7 plus 3 and 135 HP. And, you know, the longboats firing the extra arrows. I mean, longboats are just ridiculous. Malian, Galleon, Stallion. Makes sense. Castle will go up here. Little risky. Little risky, because you don't know if there could be Trebs on the other side. Big old shots here from Red, who honestly just needs to focus on the longboat number now. The demos were good against that big massive fires, but if you're not seeing any more, I think you should be in a good spot here. These Trebs could be gathered up. I think Blue should try to transport again, guys. Like, try and bring villagers in transports to this area and build a bunch of stables to try and go for some cav raids. Because I'm sure with what Blue knows about how this game is going, does not feel as though his civilization really has that big of a chance. Also interesting to me how Red has brought his champions and his Arbalest here, and he now seems to regret it. Hoping he would have, you know, thinking maybe he should have taken it to the base of Blue. This castle, could it be denied here? Maybe? Looks like it might still go up eventually for Red, but a little sloppy for him right now. Tigui for the Malian player. The TCs will now fire arrows when they're not garrisoned. Exciting, but castle's up, and that hurts. This castle's huge. And the GG and the additional G is called by Bert the Kid. The triple G. What a fun game, honestly. It was so good. So well played from Red to be able to hold on against that attack. I really think that, you know, everything that Blue did was fine, right? Like, men-at-arms, the archers, the control he had on land. That is how I would envision this matchup to go. And Red scouted it too. Like, Red knew. So, again, so well played from him, because the landings can really surprise you sometimes if you get really fixated on the water. But, you know, I think the key when you're controlling with land is that you shift back onto water. So, Bert the Kid, if you rewatch this, before Imp comes in for Red, that period of time when you've taken good fights on land, that's where your docks need to be spamming fires and controlling that shoreline. Make it more difficult for Red to come back on water. A lot of resources in the bank for Blue, but Blue really felt like there was no way back from here. And if you think about the potential from Red, the longboats will dominate. Red can take this gold. The cannon galleons, the Trebs, all of that can be taking things here in a moment's time. And I'm sure Blue didn't think about one last desperation little transport. I think that a couple desperation transports with 9k food would be epic, though. You know, just raid with Cav. Like, build a bunch of stables here. Red has not done enough to deny that potential on both sides. But these guys played above 1100 elo, I think. They really played well. They really seem to understand the maps, which is rare. I feel like a lot of people don't like water maps. They don't understand or appreciate the depth of islands. So, anyways, well played to these two. Blue collected a lot of resources. It felt like the timings could have been there. Didn't quite pan out for him. Well played to Red. He took really good fights with the arguably better units at what types of fights were being taken. 2-1 KD from him. And kept his army alive as well. 69 army high versus just the 43 army high there from Blue. You know, let me know in the YouTube comments later what you think of islands. I don't want to do islands all the time, that's for sure. But I actually think it can be good to spice it up from time to time. People don't like playing this map because every game can be a little bit different. Because you have to keep an eye on so many things. It's so much easier for people to just say pure lands map. And, you know, go for their scouts, their archers, their knights, etc. But for 1100s to show us how many cool things there are to talk about in this map makes me want to do it more. GG.